Today we are talking about WrestleMania III and the greatest match ever. Next on the Turnbuckle Talk.
They think they got the answers. I change the question.
Talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass.
I will come away with the championship belt. Let's see new horizons.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest and new Intercontinental Champion.
Gentlemen, welcome back to Turnbuckle Talk. These YouTube listeners, this is Charlie Hustle, my esteemed panel, Payne Gretzky, the mouth EJ on the end, B Fluke, Bad Company. Gentlemen, you guys ready for WrestleMania 3?
Absolutely.
This is one of the big ones. I think every wrestling historian, especially guys like us who appreciate the golden age of wrestling, we're not going to sit too long and talk wrestling without mentioning WrestleMania 3 on some level. Let's talk about Detroit. Let's talk about the Pontiac Silverdome, right? Let's talk about Vince McMahon blacking out the event in the Detroit metro area, right? You're not seeing WrestleMania unless you come buy tickets, right?
Yeah.
Vince McMahon, top shelf in the marketing department. We make no mistake about it. 12 matches on the card. March 29, 1987. The stadium fits 78,000. Gorilla tells us they fit 93,000 in that building that night. And part of me believes him. Because when you look at the event, you see a lot of folded chairs at the bottom level, right?
Yeah.
They squeeze in another 15 grand in folded chairs. I believe it. I'm open to that. $1.6 million they made on tickets alone at the venue. Another 10.3 at pay-per-view money.
Crazy numbers at that time.
Huge numbers at this time. Are you kidding me? Let's start right from the top here.
Round one.
Fight. And I'm going to go with you, Bad Company, Brown. We mentioned the 12 matches. Give me the best of the night.
Best match of the night. Woo. It would have to be Dragon versus Macho Man Randy Savage. That was probably the best technical match. Like the moves these guys put on each other, it was exciting. Two of the top fighters in wrestling at that point. And what surprised me was I didn't know the Dragon was all that great. You know, I had to re-look back at some of his past matches. I was like, yo, he was really a technician. That to me was probably the best match. Of course, the man ended up winning, but at the time he wasn't my guy. I ended up growing to like him as time gone on, but got to give it to that match. That was probably the best match ever to me.
Well done. B Fluke, I'm going to you. Best match in WrestleMania 3.
Bad Company took my answer, but I'm going to bring up something else. I would have to say besides that one, I mean, obviously the main event, but at the same time, I'm just going to go ahead and say the match with Jake and the Honky Tonk Man. And I'm going to say Jake and the Honky Tonk Man for the simple fact WrestleMania was centered around the whole Michigan to Detroit area. Alice Cooper was an element in that match.
Yes. Yes.
A quick fact about that match. Jimmy Hart injured himself that night because of his real life phobia of snakes. And when Alice Cooper came over to him, you notice he kicks up. He hurt his neck because Jake had him in the full Nelson. So I would have to say that would be one of the best matches of the night.
Well done. Strong first round there by B Fluke. Payne Gretzky, talk to me about the best match at WrestleMania 3.
So I pride myself on being able to adapt because I think we're all going to say Steamboat Macho. It came down anyway. But let's pivot here, right? I'm going to go the Hart Foundation and Dangerous Danny Davis versus the British Bulldogs and Tito Santana. It's a lot of it's just a lot going on in the match. Ventura steals Matilda. Like it's all types of crazy shit going on. It's just my kind of match for a six-man tag team is chaos, and it just made me. It raised some questions as to. I found myself watching it, wondering, does anyone ever realize or know why the Hart Foundation's colors were pink and black?
Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
I just so
he was their manager.
I never understood.
Hearts are pink and red.
But even after they left Jimmy Hart, they just stuck with the pink and black because when they originally came in, they had on black
and blue. Yeah.
Blue.
So I just always wondered why. And then that was the match where actually Gorilla Monsoon coined the phrase excellence of execution in WrestleMania 1. But and ran with it.
You know, there was a purpose for that match, right?
For this six-man tag?
Six-man tag, yeah. And it was
a whole storyline to it.
Yeah.
There was a purpose of it.
Yeah.
And the purpose of that match was because of Dynamite Kid injuring himself.
That's right.
They wanted to take the work off of him.
Yeah.
Right.
So he had to do less work. So that's why they made it a six-man tag instead of a team match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did have back problems,
Yeah. All right, we're locked in there. And EJ, we're gonna go to you. Best match of WrestleMania 3.
Yeah. That's a good response. Dynamite Kid being hurt, they kind of eased the pressure off of Dynamite, and that shows Vince's nice empathy here. You know, allowing it to be a six-man tag instead of a regular tag team match. So that does make sense. But it still was a great match. I'll give you kudos for that. The Macho match, as was mentioned earlier, that was taken too. But was it known that Macho sent a script? So that also lent into the mystique into that match. Look, I'll try to mention that. Look, Rowdy Piper in his farewell match against adorable Adrian Adonis. Look.
Pause.
Listen, folks. There were belts taken off in this match, being used on children and adults here. Look, forget the fact that Jesse Ventura had a sort of affinity for Mr. Adonis since they were tag team members at one time. A little East-West connection out there,
Yeah.
So Adonis, a longtime wrestler, comes in and he's trying to end Piper's career on a bad note, but Piper's not having it. First of all, he takes one of Piper's cronies in Cowboy Bob Orton and proceeds to go have his own flower shop show and mock the Piper's Pit that was out when Piper was out doing Hollywood. But that's neither here nor there. Piper says, "You know what, Orton, you can have Adonis. I don't mess with those crossfitters and transformers out here. You can play, you can play if you want to." But I think goes on a great note, and I think that's one of the better matches on his farewell because of the leading up to that match. Prior to it, we'll never forget the Piper's Pit. Piper, you're a legend in my book.
This is actually a very, very strong first round. Very disappointed. So, Turnbuckle Talk listeners, you guys have been here for at least 3 episodes now. You've been keeping along with the library. There are always opportunities for this team, this panel, this group of guys here to earn additional points by me as the host. When we're talking best match, if you don't talk about arguably one of the greatest tag teams of all time, in the Dream Team versus the Rougeaus with the babyface turn of Beefcake, I think you're missing opportunity there to really point out something that had some effects moving forward. So shame on these guys here for not mentioning that babyface turn. Let's talk about the first round. Let's talk about some points here. Ben walks out of the first round with 10 points. That's strong.
That's very strong.
EJ has 9 in the first round. Sam has 10 in the first round. Payne had 11. However, -2 for the goofball pink question. Are you kidding me? Everybody in the history of life knows the pink is related to Jimmy Hart. Come on, man. So that takes Payne from 11 to 9.
Yeah. Jimmy took over, man. Jimmy took over, and he wanted to brand them. Yep. That's their branding right there.
But that's too bad. So very strong first round here at WrestleMania 1 for everybody on the panel. I think when we have a strong round like this, what I like to do as the host of this show is throw these guys a curveball. Because I think what I don't want them to do is land on the same answers here, right, as we move forward. So what I'm going to do, boys, is I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to start with EJ on this. Tell me something I didn't know about WrestleMania 3.
Folks, we almost had Arnold Schwarzenegger in the event.
Oh.
Bet you didn't know that one.
Terminator.
One of the
big at that time. Predator.
Yeah, Predator. Running Man. Look, we almost had him there. In fact, Jesse Ventura, who was co-starring with him in a couple of films. Yes, I said a couple of films, not just Predator, Running Man 2. But Schwarzenegger was sent down. They tried to get they had Dick Ebersol from NBC. We know him, to go down and meet with Schwarzenegger to be a part of the entertainment card. Little do we know this was about to happen, but he did turn it down. But this could have been one of the bigger names to add to the mystique, because he already was successful in previous events of getting star power. And Schwarzenegger, what bigger star name than Schwarzenegger at this time to have additionally on the card? So one of the little known facts about WrestleMania 3.
Well done, EJ. I'm going to go right back to you on this one, Payne. Tell me something I didn't know about WrestleMania 3.
This isn't too big of a thing, but the most influential wrestler in this, aside from the obvious Pipers and the Hogans, etc., one of the more influential fly under the radar wrestlers would be Adrian Adonis, because they would model a few characters and catch things from future stars after him. You get Goldust. Later on, who basically is what Adrian Adonis was, kind of a cross-dresser, weird kind of guy after he left the Brooklyn Adrian Adonis alone. And then also the little perfume spray, Rick Martel, and arrogance when he becomes the model. So Adrian Adonis, very underappreciated, and there's a lot of things that WWF took from him later on down the line. And I don't know if a lot of people knew that, but it's something that caught my eye. I was like, they took a lot of things from the Adrian Adonis character.
Well done, Payne. I'm overly impressed. Bad Company Brown, back to you. Tell me something I didn't know about WrestleMania 3.
Bob Uecker smashed Moolah.
He was on a quest. Yes, he sure was.
Oh boy. Oh geez.
I'm just joking, fellas, but yeah. I'm gonna stick to it. It
sounded believable.
Oh God!
I thought I could pull that. I thought I can get it past.
I liked it. I was here for it. B Fluke, tell me something I didn't know about WrestleMania 3.
Well, the most important element, this has to do with it, the main event. Andre the Giant was physically failing by this point. It was almost. Did you know that they had? I bet you didn't know they had Paul Orndorff waiting he was prepared to take Andre the Giant's place in case Andre couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And also the importance of this match. It was like almost the passing of the torch, the biggest star of the 70s up against the biggest star of the 80s. So from a marketing standpoint, I see why Vince went ahead with the Andre and Hogan angle, for the simple fact, marketing purposes. Like, would you have someone who was worldwide known on the global? Because remember, Andre had just finished filming The Princess Bride. I would have to say that the whole thing with Paul Orndorff being prepared and, told at the last minute, hey, be ready to face Hulk Hogan in the main event in case Andre doesn't make it.
Excellent work, boys.
Very good.
I'm glad it didn't happen though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. McMahon, from a marketing standpoint, what that would have done.
Oh, that was probably one of the greatest storylines right there. Him betrayed in Hogan. They had that long friendship. What were they at? Was it the Piper? No, it wasn't the Piper's Pit where they had the interview, right? Where it
was Piper's Pit when he snapped the chain.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a great storyline.
Set up in the background because of the movie. They were promoting at the time.
Every wrestler, if you listen to the shoot interviews, talks about how Andre had a harness on that was keeping his back in place because of how bad of a shape he was in.
And before the match, he drank 14 bottles of wine. But you didn't know that.
Yeah.
What was up with that ring, though? You remember that's the smallest cage I've ever seen.
It might have just looked small because of Andre being in it.
Oh no!
Well, it
didn't look like if Hogan won. I think Hogan did get on the top ropes at one point. I if I'm not mistaken, I don't.
Wait, no, Hogan didn't get on. Not WrestleMania.
He didn't get on the top.
No way.
No,
that was WrestleMania 2 with the cage.
WrestleMania 2.
No, I know what you're thinking of. You're thinking of Saturday night's main event when he suplexed Big Boss Man off the cage.
Maybe, possibly, maybe.
Yeah.
Boys, this is going to be one of our tighter 2-round sessions, and it's fitting for an event like WrestleMania 3. I'm going to do a quick tally here. I've got Sam first at 19 points cumulative through the first 2 rounds. EJ with 19 points cumulative through the first 2 rounds. Ben, 19 points cumulative to the first 2 rounds. Payne, 21 minus that 2 is 19 cumulative. We were 4-way tie.
Oh man.
and I'm okay with that. Yeah. Everybody goes to the finals. And let's break it up with this. EJ, give me your most memorable individual performance at WrestleMania 3.
Wow. It may sound like I'm beating a dead horse here, but look, you can make your choice from any of these 2. But look, I'm going to go with Ricky Steamboat. Now, look, it's from the greatest match in the whole event, as far as I'm concerned. But the reason why I give the nod to Steamboat is because he was able to meet Macho move for move. He was able to take the script of what I mentioned earlier and say, you know what? It takes 2 to tango. Let's make this work and make this the most memorable match in the history of the WWF. In fact, did everybody know that they use this match as a way to teach future wrestlers of how to play a 2-man game? They use this. Remember, there was a show called, there's later on a show called Tough Enough.
Yeah.
And they had some areas where you'd have people learning how to wrestle for the first time. Listen, the Macho Steamboat match is being used, and Steamboat being able to appeal to the crowd, take the punishment for many, many, many matches leading up to this event, the bell in the throat, in the larynx, come back from that.
Yeah,
getting his throat hit in the banister that separates the crowd from the event, from Macho coming off the top rope, recovering from that. In fact, you come back and have a match where, listen, turnbuckles are taken out, the stuffing taken out, and threat of injury. There's no mats. You're hitting concrete, and you can come out victorious in this. The fact that Macho's the champ, and you could sit there and take that away from him, appealing to the world, because the world is expecting, after all that onslaught, that you must win. You must win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Steamboat had the most memorable performance in my book.
Okay, Payne, we're gonna go right to you. Most memorable individual performance at WrestleMania 3.
Usually when we go memorable, we go for a good reason, right? I'm going for a bad reason that pissed me off to this day. Okay. Brutus Beefcake turning face pissed me off. He broke up a great thing in the Dream Team. Him and Valentine as heels were perfect. And they played off each other so well. And then you turn Beefcake into Brutus the Barber Beefcake. He starts doing the stupid ass strut that's a ripoff of Double J and Ric Flair. He's over the top corny. He's just terrible. You ruined Beefcake for me. So that's the most memorable individual performance because it sucked.
I don't hate that idea. Fluke, I'm coming back to you. Most memorable individual performance at WrestleMania 3.
I would have to say I have a couple, but can I give them both, or would I?
Help yourself.
Okay. One being the main event. Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant. The whole work. That was all orchestrated by Andre the Giant in the ring, telling Hulk Hogan, slam me. And he did it.
Yeah.
Andre knew his physical state, because after that, we didn't see Andre for another, he was already out for 7 months at some point. Yeah. But my second was, y'all are going to laugh at this probably, King Kong Bundy injuring Lil Beaver. He ended Lil Beaver's career. See, the thing is, the story behind that in the 6-man tag, all the midgets were supposed to protect Lil Beaver, and they missed their cue. So Bundy fell off script, and he wasn't supposed to elbow him. So when he elbowed him, Little Beaver, he never came back. He injured him and ended his career.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a standout.
That is excellent work, and in fact, for the first time in this Turnbuckle Talk series, someone has hit the bonus point opportunity that literally ended that wrestler's career.
Yeah.
He, and that's no kayfabe. Literally put him out of here.
Yeah, he went way off script.
Yeah, these things happen all the time, especially in the golden era of wrestling, where guys miss their cue, and it has effects on the match. We talked about this when we did WrestleMania 1. We were talking about how SG Jones missed the cue. That's supposed to lead to a much faster match. These things happen in the golden era, and they're interesting to watch because they have adverse effects. Little, going back to you, most memorable individual performance at WrestleMania 3.
The most memorable individual performance would be from a guy that was not even in the match. I would say Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Coming in and in usual fashion, whacking someone and getting disqualified or getting the team disqualified, which he did, sending the Killer Bees home. He did come save the day, but this going forward will become a trend with Hacksaw. A lot of matches, a lot of good matches ended with his 2x4 coming in between, either coming to defend or, whatever the reason was. So I would say his performance in WrestleMania would be it.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you there. Strong championship round by everyone. But B. Fluke, because he hit the bonus with King Kong Bundy there, walks away from everybody else.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is, because you guys went the extra innings, you're no longer going to get a parting shot. We're just going to get you out of here. So get off my screen. B. Fluke, you are now on the top of the turnbuckle. The floor is yours.
2 times champion. 2 times. 2 times. 2 times. Step up.
Beef Luke.
Arriba!
Reign supreme, man. As
I had to do some
up,
Tito Santana in there.
WrestleMania
Chico.
Chico, yeah.
You know, we missed on all the commentary of Jesse the Body Ventura, though.
Right.
His commentary in that, now me watching that over again, was just hilarious. He said Coco Beware had a brother named Buckwheat and a cousin named Stymie. He was a wild boy. He was a wild boy.
One thing we didn't talk about here as we get ready to sign off for WrestleMania 3, actually 2. The one being, this is the first time I remember seeing in a WWF pay-per-view a crimson mask worn by Billy Jack Haynes after getting hit in the face with that chain by the mighty Hercules. Yep. I haven't seen right, and you know what's interesting is that the WWF would make a name of staying away from this kind of stuff because they want to appeal to the children. So seeing that blood work, which was standard in wrestling, you know, it was a standard thing, but not with the WWF. So that was an interesting point of note here.
Yeah, they got away from it.
That was a bonus point opportunity that was missed. Go ahead,
because remember back in the days, every match would be a bloody match or something like that. Yeah, they definitely steered away, especially in was WCW. No, NWA. World Class. Yeah,
World Class loved it. Yeah,
put that claw on. That was it.
The first WrestleMania in history to have the Intercontinental Champion change hands.
And that was my next
also,
point. That was my next point.
The only WrestleMania to never have a title change or a championship match with the tag team titles.
Never, huh?
Oh, yeah. Good point there as well. Wow. Good point there as well. All right, so listen, this is for Turnbuckle Talk. Guys, follow, like, subscribe. We're going to be talking golden era of the WWF. That's 82 to 92. If you're a fan of that era, you're going to love the content. Join the conversation. Jump in the comments. Get involved. EJ, anything else you wanted to left before we go?
Yeah, just a small nugget, you know, for if we're going there, you know, everybody thinks that Andre and Hogan, you know, it was for all the non-wrestling fans think it was their first match. It wasn't, you know. So Andre did win against Hogan previously many times, especially at another big event right here in New York where I'm at, at Shea Stadium. The Showdown at Shea was the event, and Andre the Giant was the face. And Hogan was the heel, you know, managed by Blassie.
He was the fabulous Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
he had a robe. He had the robe.
And he had the pimp robe.
And he used a foreign object. And used a foreign object on Andre, albeit, you know, afterwards. But you know, it was a controversial match. You know, remember watching it. Hogan probably wasn't pinned officially. It was a quick count by the referee. He was knocked out, and another one came in. But you know, just another nugget. Crimson was on Andre's face too in that match.
And I do think it's a little bit of a travesty. Listen, everybody who watched that match knows that. Well, listen, Andre pinned Hogan. Like, let's stop it. Like, come on, man. That was the easiest 3 count I ever saw.
Yeah, Jesse challenges it all the time. You know, like,
rightfully so.
He's like,
Jesse was a hater.
From that, was it Morello refereing?
He was a hater. Jesse was
you know
a
what?
hater.
You know, favoritism. You know, because Gorilla wants his son to get out of here.
Yeah. Turnbuckle Talk, WrestleMania 3. We'll catch you guys on the next one.